So, as I said, I love love. I have had a fascination, sometimes bordering on obsession, with love since I was a young child. I think a lot of AFAB people idealize love. By AFAB, I mean assigned female at birth people. I say that instead of woman since I identify as non-binary. So when I'm talking about an experience that has to do with the body I have and the way I was socialized, I say AFAB. Queer people have a lot of acronyms for everybody to learn. We're very patient. We try. So I have always really cared about love and having a long-term healthy relationship. I think part of that's because no one in my family really ever accomplished this, and I just liked the idea of a live-in companion. So over the last 3 years, I've worked really hard to cultivate this for myself. The first 2 or so years were kind of rocky. I kept dating people who did not want to have a relationship, even though that was specifically what I was looking for. And I think you may be wondering, why were you doing that? Well, I think we all do shit like this all the time. We get into these loops because of our subconscious, and mine was telling me that I didn't want to be in a relationship. And I think that was because when I was younger, bad things happened in some of my relationships. So even though I was saying, I want a relationship, I was doing everything I could to make sure I didn't actually have one. But also in that time, I studied relationships and did as much as I can to really prepare to be in the relationship I would eventually be in. I listened to podcasts about relationships. I read books about dating. I followed relationship experts. I wrote out ranked my 21 needs in a relationship. I came up with a list of 5 expectations for a partner. What else? I wrote prose, about what I wanted in a partner. I wrote songs about what I wanted. And I also thought about what I could give in a relationship. Because a lot of the problem I think that young people have is that they're so me. What do I want? What do I need? And dating apps only make the focus on me worse. So I thought about what I could give. And the other thing, because if you think about deal breakers with relationships, a lot of times it's whether or not they want to have kids, whether or not they want to get married. And I feel like so many people now, it's they don't want to binge the same show on Netflix as I do, so it's not going to work. It's too much. Everybody's got to relax. But we live in a capitalist, consumeristic society, and some of that means that we treat people like products, and we treat them like they're disposable, and we need to upgrade people, and it's ridiculous. The other thing I don't like about how people talk about relationships is when they say, this just isn't serving me anymore. I hate that. If someone broke up with me and said, this just isn't serving me anymore, I would say, go fuck yourself. Okay? I am not here to serve you. I'm here to be your partner, your friend, but I'm not your maid or your servant. And I know there are different ways to kind of talk about what it means to serve in a relationship, but I'm talking specifically about how we say we don't want to be in something anymore. So, so I spent all this time kind of thinking about what I wanted, and I'm going to share some of the things I came up with for what I wanted, what I decided I wanted in a relationship, and what I would want to give. So the number 1 is that I want to get married. This took me a long time to figure out. I still have a lot of hang-ups with it. I don't think there is anything queer about marriage. I think queer people can get married, but I don't think there's anything queer about marriage or the wedding industry. But I have been broken up with for some weird reasons. So I am looking for the security of, yeah, you can break up with me, I can break up with you, but we're going to need a lawyer present, okay? The second one is I need someone that I am sexually compatible with. I am a power bottom, baby. And I have a lot to bring to the table in this area. You know the sounds porn stars make when they have sex? I make those sounds. And So finding someone that I am sexually compatible with is important. I think sex is one of the best parts of being alive. And it's also the reason that I never say I miss being a kid. There's actually a lot of reasons I don't miss being a kid, but sex is like a big one. You can't have sex as a kid. The second one, or the third is that I want a queer relationship. And by that I mean I don't want to just fall into the gender roles of a heteronormative relationship. I date butch women, and there are some people who think that if you are in a butch femme, I'm the femme, dynamic, you are automatically in this heteronormative relationship. I highly disagree with this perspective. Butch and femme couples have existed for centuries, long before the terms butch, femme, and lesbian were invented. I would be happy to share with you some resources after the show if you want proof for how this is, for what I'm saying. So the idea that a butch and femme relationship is inherently heteronormative, to me, is just a misunderstanding of butch femme and femme identities and queer love. Are some heteronormative? Sure. Just like some with two femme people are heteronormative, with two butch people are heteronormative, but it's not an inherent thing of butch and femme people. Number 4, and this is a big one, mutuality. That was a big thing I wanted in my next relationship, because I have had a lot of power dynamics in relationships, and just like too much of that, like they want me more than I want them, or I want them more than they want me, or whatever. It's so stupid, and it's just like, if I'm in something, I'm in it. So I want the person I'm with to also be in it, and us to be, feel like there's this even give and take. There are times during a long-term relationship where one partner is giving more than the other partner, because one is like going through something. That's totally normal. I'm talking about just the foundation of a relationship should be a mutual thing. So I'll leave it at those 4. But last fall, I decided to date around for the first time. I had never done this. I would find one person and be like, I'm going to date this person now. But I went on multiple dates with different people, and so that I could figure out find the one person that I was most compatible with. It was incredibly sexually empowering. I highly recommend people try this out. And now I have a partner, a studly, creative, intelligent woman, and she's in California doing, feeling, there's a lot of big dyke energy radiating off of her at her big dick job, and I feel very valued by her, and I really enjoy what we're doing, and I'm grateful to be doing it. But I don't think I would have what I have with her if I wouldn't have worked on myself for all of those years. So loving yourself is important, and working on yourself is important. And if you are a woman or an AFAB person and you feel like you want love or you want a relationship but you're not supposed to or whatever, just remember that that's just misogyny talking. When a man wants a relationship, people are like, oh, how sensitive. What a sensitive man. How nice he wants to settle down. And they want to help him. When we want it, we're needy and we just want to trap somebody, or we're helpless or whatever, and it's nonsense. So just, do your thing. It's really normal to want a long-term relationship with somebody. So stop apologizing. Thank you.